Well, hello everybody and welcome to Tousi TV. This is your global news channel. I'm Tousi, and Nicolas Maduro has been captured by the United States military. And of course, the communists have lost their leader in Venezuela. This is officially the fastest war since 1896 in Zanzibar, when the British Empire gave a warning to the leadership on Zanzibar saying we are coming in. And of course, Zanzibar said, give me a few minutes, I'm just washing my hair. The empire said, no, we're coming in. And within 40 minutes, the palace was taken over and the Brits were victorious. President Trump, now there is a lot of speculations here. Interestingly enough, people believe speculations as facts. So the opposition in Venezuela are saying one thing. The Americans are not saying that. And people just believe whatever they hear first. So the opposition in Venezuela say that there was a deal and this was agreed in advance. The Americans have not confirmed that, but I wouldn't be surprised because President Trump has been negotiating with Maduro for a long time. We're going to go live to Caracas, the capital of Venezuela. We have our live feed for you guys. We're going to go through all the videos that we are receiving here at Tousi TV to give you guys the summary and the live coverage of what happened over the last couple of hours and what is happening as we speak. We are expecting a speech and press conference in Florida by President Trump. We can also give you guys the live footage coming from Florida. And we kind of expect Maduro to be there around Mar-a-Lago. But of course, we will confirm this for you guys shortly. First things first, let's talk about what happened in the early hours. First, we just heard about smoke all over the capital following a number of explosions. At first, and see what we were dealing with.
Esto es Avenida Fuerzas Armadas, algo explotó. Se estremecieron los edificios, no sé qué está pasando allí. Pero han pasado bastantes motorizados y los bomberos. En vivo y en directo, aquí estamos.
Now, fascinating enough, this was the initial reaction when people realized that this is the United States doing airstrikes. People were saying, "Are you sure?" Well, this happened. Actually, wait. There we go.
Hay un bombardeo. Okay, levanta vaina.
Yeah, it was quite clear. This only lasted minutes.
Mamá. Vamos bien, Michi. Vamos bien.
Now, obviously, after the fall of the Venezuelan communists, Ali Khamenei in Tehran, in Iran, is not having a good time right now because he knows that he is definitely next. If we go to our live feed from Venezuela, the capital, Caracas, we have at least 6 pillars of thick smoke was seen rising from different sites throughout the capital. Multiple Chinook helicopters were seen. This is the fascinating part because they started hitting first and then they just brought the helicopters and they landed. The US troops just landed in Venezuela. Insane explosions were heard and seen straight after that. Let's go to that quickly and then we'll tell you what happened with Maduro. Let's go. That was when the helicopters were landing. Wait for it.
¿Qué hacemos? Que se quede allá.
Now, of course, President Putin is not happy, saying invading a sovereign country is not good. Pot kettle special military operation. Then the Chinook helicopters started to maneuver around the palace and landed in the capital.
Se escuchan helicópteros.
You can
Son
hear
las
the
1:58 de la mañana.
Here we go.
Están atacando el fuerte Fiuna.
What a day, guys. What a day. What a year. 2026. We're in the third day into 2026 and dictators are falling one by one. This is going to be the year of democracy, guys. First Venezuela, then Iran. And then there was the update came about the flight radar, because the US Air Force started to deactivate their transponders, and so they were not visible. There we go. There we go. And it was the larger sections of the southern suburban areas of Caracas were without power. We don't know if they still don't have power or not, but this is the southern parts of the capital. They lost complete power. There we go. They also, the Air Force, the US Air Force also hit the Generalissimo Francisco de Miranda Air Base of the Venezuelan Air Force, which completely paralyzed everything. So this is why the speculations are all over the place, because, as I said, the opposition sources say that Maduro knew about this, that he was going to get picked up. But the Americans are not saying that. So far, the way it seems, the way it looked, didn't seem that he knew he was going to get picked up, right? The way it seemed. So we have to wait for the President Trump, to make the announcement shortly to give us the explanation of what exactly happened. But we do know that there have been negotiations over the past few weeks. President Trump gave a number of options to Maduro, and he didn't take it. So there were always going to be a deal, but this level of operation didn't seem to be. If there was a deal, it seems like they only talked to Maduro, not the rest of the leadership in Venezuela, because they started hitting everything. The US strikes also hit the munition depot in Venezuela. This is what happened. So quick. Ali Khamenei, you're next. Brilliant. Now, Gustavo Petro is having an emotional breakdown. Oh yes, in case you don't know, the so-called president of Colombia, yes, the land of drugs for Maduro's gang, Petro said right now they are bombing Caracas. Alert to the whole world, they have attacked Venezuela. They are bombing with missiles. As opposed to what? Okay. I thought they were going to use boomerangs. Where's the United Nations? We need to meet immediately. He tweets like a teenage girl, Petro. They're attacking. This is the end of the world. Well, maybe, Petro, you need to watch your back, because you might be next. And as, of course, more countries, one by one in South America, are becoming democratic and also capitalist, the American empire is winning, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that aside, the Venezuelans claimed that the home of the defense minister has also been hit. But we are trying to get more information about this, but panic has erupted at the presidential palace. The official position from the Venezuelan government is we don't know where the president is. But we know where the president is. He's in Florida. As in, Maduro is in Florida. Unless they've taken him somewhere else. But we expect the US Air Force to just take him straight to Trump. Get on your knees, Nicholas. Get on your knees. Now, Venezuelan armored vehicles, it's a state of emergency now in the capital. They are spotted on the streets of Caracas and around the presidential palace. Let's go and see that. So much chaos. This is how you do what Putin will call special military operation. This is how you do it. You go in, you find a target, you get them instead of just like destroying civilians. Obviously, a lot of the attacks on the capital of Ukraine had been hitting residential buildings, but obviously a lot of collateral damage will happen. But this is how you do it. If you're going to do war, do it with minimal casualties. That's the ideal situation. Bring down the leadership immediately. Now, the security officials in Venezuela are detaining local residents around the presidential palace. We have the latest video. Let's go. They are panicking. They're all full panic mode right now in Venezuela.
Mira. Ay, papi, también chorreado.
They're just arresting everyone.
Los van a... Mierda, qué desastre.
Someone from Nigeria says, Nigeria next, please. This it's not a video game where Trump just picking random countries.
Mira.
The Nigerian government need to man up, by the way,
Mira.
about the instability in the country.
Bajando a la gente. Mira. Mira, parando carro.
Oh, we have that confirmed now. Hang on.
Bueno, me imagino que están defendiendo la posición, pero
Right.
no va a durar mucho.
So,
No, van a ir por ellos, van a ir por ellos. Mira, mira esto.
we now have confirmation. Yep.
Se acabó lo que sea.
Okay, wow, this is insane. The defense minister's home, which is in the military base, by the way, not in residential areas, has now been shelled, been destroyed at the. This is at the Fortuna military base in the capital. So the target was not just the president or the dictator Maduro himself, but also the top leadership of the government. And as we said, the paramilitary forces of the Venezuelan state are now patrolling the capital, and they are kicking down doors and they are entering buildings. Not really sure who they're trying to find, but this is simply a crackdown, a pre-crackdown against the opposition. So they know who they're looking for. Anybody who is supporting Machado is going to be in trouble now because they know that she might return. And we're going to talk about Maria Machado in a second. Wow. They're going for them. So, as far as we know, we don't have confirmation whether Maria Corina Machado, the opposition leader, is back in Venezuela or not, because obviously she came to Europe to pick up her Nobel Peace Prize. Then she gave that to President Trump. It's chaos. And but yes, I believe she's probably still out. But President Trump and his team will probably be helping her to go back to her country. We then received the confirmation from the White House. Well, technically Mar-a-Lago, because that's where he is, Trump, saying that the United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro, who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with US law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, again, if we just do speculation, because obviously if you're watching this live in a few hours' time, you're going to find out the truth when we report it. But for now, we're waiting for the news conference, so we're just speculating. As we said, the opposition sources have said that this was agreed with Nicolas Maduro. The White House is not saying that right now. They did do a proper military operation on the capital to capture him instead of just quietly go picking him up. But having said that, if we go to the first theory, President Trump didn't really go to Washington, D.C., to the Situation Room in the White House. He stayed in Florida. So how urgent was this operation? How spontaneous was this operation? Let's just say, well, no, never spontaneous because I had to plan it in advance. But was there definitely no deal with Nicolas Maduro? But if there was a deal, then I don't think they've told the rest of the Venezuelan governments because they seem to be right now all over the place on the streets of Caracas. Now, the defense minister has also said just now that we will not negotiate, we will not surrender, and we will ultimately triumph. I think the Venezuelan defense minister is already drunk in the early hours of the morning in Venezuela. I'm not really sure what he's doing, but yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I think that the push right now from the Venezuelan drug cartel loving communist government is to prevent the opposition from rising up, from taking over. That is the priority. So if they have to get the military to take control instead of the vice president, then they will do that. But in the next few hours, everything is going to become more clear. But the Venezuelan opposition, with the leadership under the leadership of Maria Corina Machado, are already mobilizing to secure government buildings and work towards establishing a legitimate administration. This is why the regime forces are now obviously on the streets, very visible, patrolling the areas to stop the government buildings from being taken over by Machado's side. Javier Milei, one of my favorite presidents right now in the world, from Argentina, is also celebrating. He's just released a 4-word statement: "Long live freedom, damn it." That is the official statement from President Milei. Long live freedom, damn it. Love Javier. Anyway, we have the latest video also from the explosions, and then we're going to go back live to Caracas and also Mar-a-Lago. Okay, Maduro, I believe they're in New York. But they have been indicted in New York. Maduro and his wife have just been indicted in New York. We just got the confirmation. Wow.
Algo pasó ahí. Algo está pasando, muchas explosiones, como pueden ver.
There are celebrations right now on the streets.
Un coñazo demasiado fuerte.
There are celebrations on the streets of Caracas. Let's quickly go and see what is happening over there, and then we will get some of the reactions from the live chat, and then of course more updates. Let's go. Brilliant. Winning. So good, guys. So good. Massive, massive victory for both Americans and, of course, Venezuelans. This is our live camera from Caracas, and we also do have the live feed from Mar-a-Lago. If we could quickly go back to that. There we go. So that's also Florida. Extremely peaceful right now. No alligators in sight. They are all in Washington, D.C., the alligators. Anyway, let's quickly go back to Venezuela, see what we're dealing with, and get some reaction in the live chat. It's a bad weekend to be in the dictatorship business. Yeah, it's a bad year. 3 days into 2026. Guess this is the surprising 75% off day. Well, yes, it's getting very close, Adam. I have promised you guys if Venezuela, or when Venezuela and Iran fall, not at the same time, even separately, doesn't matter, then temporarily I will give you guys a 75% off annual memberships of Tousi TV Plus. But we have to get the government to leave. So officially, we have to wait for the official fall. I know I'm dragging it, but it hasn't officially fallen, right? The leader's gone. Well, he was stolen. He was kidnapped. I can't believe the Americans just sent the helicopters. They went down. They picked up a president of a different country, kidnapped him, took him to America. Now he's been indicted in New York City. Oh, crazy times to be alive, guys. Has Maria Corina Machado made any comments? Yeah, so yeah, she said a couple of things. One was the the fact that they are mobilizing the opposition to take over the government buildings, and two, her sources, she didn't say herself, her sources said that there was an agreed deal between Trump and Maduro to pick him up with the helicopters, like an Uber ride basically. Give him a ride to the US. Free, which is not bad. You didn't have to buy a ticket to go to America. The Iranian dictator is going to need contingency pants when he sees this. Yes, Khamenei is not going to be too happy about this. He's lost another friend. Also, my thoughts and prayers go out to Tucker Carlson. He's lost yet another friend in Nicolas Maduro. Unfortunately for Tuck, he's losing more allies. Wanted oil, got a dictator in pajamas. Now, I love that President Trump said, basically throughout the last few weeks, it's like, and then now he's saying, well, they took our oil, we took their president. It's just now, it's ransom now. Do you want more president back? Give us the oil. Brilliant. This is how the American empire operates under President Trump. People keep asking if Trump is bluffing. They should know by now he means what he says. That's the thing though. People keep saying, no, he's not going to do it. Until literally a few hours ago, people were saying, no, the US are not going to go into Venezuela. Are you crazy, Maya? Tousi TV talking nonsense. He's not. What do you mean he's going to go take out or get Maduro? You're an idiot. You're not laughing now, are you? Super chat from Australia. We have more updates coming in. My mum and I have watched this channel for a year. Hands down the best coverage of the Iranian news. So not the Venezuelan, right? Just the Iranian news. Everything else is terrible on this channel. You won't get the Pulitzer. But no, the millions of us appreciate it. I'm 36 and this year will be my first year visiting Iran. Mine too. Well, it's not the first time, but been there before. Okay, let's find out what's going on, guys. Things are heating up on the streets of the capital. We also could have the sound just from Crackers. Do we have the... Technically there is sound, but it's very quiet. It's peaceful. Yeah, sound, okay. All right, now, there are more senior members of the government who are being hunted down right now by the US military. And that's fascinating, actually, because that includes the Interior Minister and the Defense Minister, both of them. If you want to help the US government, you can actually get rich, in case you don't know. If you want to make some money, they are still trying to hunt down the two senior ministers, and that's one of them, $25 million. That's the reward. Not too bad. Could be better. The other one was worse, actually. The Interior Minister and then the Defense Minister, 15 million. Really, 15? Yeah, I was really going to help the US, but nah, for 15, not much. It's not worth it. But yes, they're being hunted down anyway, so it's... I don't know if a specific US soldier, if they capture one of these guys, can they get money from the State Department? Or the Treasury, technically. Now, so the whole operation lasted about an hour, which is fascinating. As I said, this is the fastest military war since 1896. When the British Empire defeated Zanzibar within 40 minutes. Now, that was the fastest in history. 40 minutes! Took them 40 minutes to take over the palace. Okay, so yes, Maduro and his wife have now been charged with drugs and weapons offenses in New York as we speak. We have a statement from Attorney General Bondi saying Nicolas Maduro and his wife Celia have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Nicolas Maduro has been charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, cocaine importation conspiracy, possession of machine guns and destructive devices, and conspiracy to possess machine guns and destructive devices against the United States. They will soon face the full wrath of American justice on American soil, in American courts, On behalf of the entire US Department of Justice, I would like to thank President Trump for having the courage to demand accountability on behalf of the American people. And a huge thank you to our brave military who conducted the incredible and highly successful mission to capture these two alleged international narco traffickers. I love how Maduro's wife is now famous internationally, Celia. She was mostly behind the scenes, and now her face is going to be all over the American media as well, which is brilliant. Keir Starmer is not happy, ladies and gentlemen. Oh no. Keir Starmer is unhappy. He has said, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom says, I always believe in the necessity of respecting international law. I want to speak to President Trump about what happened in Venezuela. We need to establish all the facts of the US operation. The UK was not involved in any way. I love how defensive Keir Starmer is in London right now. Nobody asked Starmer about his opinion. Nobody asked Starmer whether the Brits were involved. Out of nowhere, Keir Starmer saying, we had nothing to do with this. Yes, we know, because you don't have the balls to do this. And Keir Starmer is also basically saying, this might be a little bit against international law. Yeah? Sue me. Anyway, so Starmer is a little bit confused about how the situation is working with capturing illegitimate dictators. He thinks it's the same thing as going around and picking up democratically elected leaders. We got the Venezuelan TV now broadcasting the damages at the airbase. This is fascinating. Let's quickly go and see what's going on over here, because the fact that the Venezuelan TV are now actually broadcasting this instead of hiding is because they want you to know, well, they want people in Caracas to know that there is a state of emergency. They want to, basically, at this point, instead of hiding the fear, they want to double down on the fear right now in the capital. So this is the air base. They hit everything, and then let's see more of this. You cannot believe. So Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, has also said that the US military action in Venezuela is against international law. And but he says that he hopes that the Venezuelan people can now turn a new leaf without Maduro. So he's saying, yes, the military action by the Americans is contrary to international law. I'm not really sure why the political leaders in Britain are so obsessed with the stupidity of international law, both Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage. It's because they want the centrist votes and the establishment votes. So that's why they're doing this, which is it's really weird. But so yeah, Farage and Starmer are very much in favor of international law in this whole situation. But this is winning. President Trump is winning, and the Americans are winning, and Venezuelans are winning, ladies and gentlemen. Someone says, sit down, Nigel. Sit down, Nigel. Anyway, and let's see where Ali Khamenei is. Someone says Farage is a prick. Well, yes, F international law. It's not real. It's not. Oh my God, how hard is it to understand how sovereign law works? Yes, as this other person just said in the live chat, which I have now just lost his comment. Where's it gone? Well, I've lost it, but somebody just said international law is a myth. Yeah, I second that. Let's double check. We have Steve saying it may be Trump way of demonstrating the capabilities of the US military to China as a warning to Xi Jinping if he wants to invade Taiwan by force. That's the thing though. So the US military, compared to any other military, is always in practice. They're always basically doing something. Unlike many other armed forces that are not doing much. There haven't really been any direct war for a long time. The US bases around the world are always active, and it's funny that we can now call the conflict in Venezuela a mini operation because it was so well done. That's again the US military style. That this would be seen as not just practice but a warning to the rest of the world. This is what the Americans can do. Don't mess with us, including China. Don't mess with the Americans. If they want to do something, you can't stop them. And it will be very smooth. Trump is a genius. He even said it once and no one questioned him. I mean, he gave the warning. You can't say he didn't tell you. We came, we saw, he's gone. No. The thing is, I think Maduro's punishment is going to be very insane because he's going to be in New York. They are punishing Maduro by forcing him to live in Mamdani's New York. I feel sorry for Maduro right now. Crispy, thank you. Maduro will now 6-7 in US prison. Nice. On the 5th anniversary of Qasem Soleimani's... Wait, is it? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Was it a year? It is the anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, let's celebrate. It's the 5th anniversary of the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, the former IRGC leader. Trump knows how to troll everybody at the same time. This is brilliant. I knew it was in January, but I forgot it's the 3rd. Hopefully grab Starmer next. Pick Starmer off. Send him to Portland probably at this point. Thank you, Mark. And Free Britain next. Down with Starmer. And Josh says Supreme Leader Keir Starmer is taking notes. Can 2026 get any better? Well, yeah, when the Crown Prince of Iran goes back to Tehran, couldn't they have picked up Starmer also? Yeah, also, they could continue to get better because we are now on 1,268,000 subscribers. We are winning. We're going to get to 2 million by the time Maduro's trial begins. And it's a great year already. We are Americans, Starmer. We are international law. America is international law. Get with it. Trump to Starmer, quiet piggy, daddy's working. I did love when he said quiet piggy. Is this considered a drive-by regime change? Not officially, but unofficially, yes. Yes, because obviously Machado is in touch with Team Trump. Narco-terrorism is okay under international law. Exactly. Those people who are basically saying, well, it's against international law. Nigel Farage, Keir Starmer, these guys who are having a meltdown. Well, you didn't say anything about Maduro breaking the same international law of narco-terrorism. Suddenly they care. There are rumors that the IRGC is going to strike Israel in order to try to get Israel to force all Iranians into shelters and off the streets. Has anyone heard this? Yes, I have heard this earlier today, just before we found out about Venezuela. It's likely that the Iranian regime could just basically launch a war, so like trigger it, so, to launch a few ballistic missiles to trigger Israel to provoke it into launching a major attack. But the Israelis could be easily smart about this. The Israelis could just, instead of hitting the streets in the capital, they could just hit all the government buildings and all the military sites and hunt down the supreme leader. They don't have to, for example, the Israelis don't have to force the civilians to go into hiding. So it could backfire on the Iranian regime if the Israelis play their cards well. Just go and assassinate the leaders. Do you have the operatives on the ground? Do you think a lower court federal district trial judge will try to force Trump to return Maduro? But not only that, the fact that the charge is now in New York, I don't really trust the courts right now in New York. I'm not really confident. Oh, we have Colombia. Colombia is kicking off because obviously there's a state of emergency everywhere, apparently. And we can quickly go over there to see what is happening with Gustavo Petro, ladies and gentlemen. We could have this ready quickly for you guys. Can we go to Colombia? Yeah. Right. Let's just quickly bring this up for you guys. There we go. We're now live from Colombia. One second. So these are the live feed that we now have from Colombia. The government are now acting quickly under, let's bring this down, under Gustavo Petro. The border between Colombia and Venezuela, there's increased security. Wow. Okay, so we are expecting to hear more from Gustavo Petro, the so-called president of Colombia, as well. They are mobilizing I think they're mobilizing the defense around the border. Not really sure why. It's not like the Venezuelan opposition are going to attack Colombia. Idiots. But we can also go back and show you the latest video from the explosions in Caracas. Let's quickly go back to that. That's their celebrations, obviously. Yep. Now we can go back to, this is not Colombia, this is Caracas. A lovely place, by the way. Okay, oh, that is not right. There we go. Okay, so going back to you guys, so much is happening so quickly. Coalition, so much for the coalition of the willing. Save weapons to protect us, Dharma. The Trump doctrine has been published in boldface. And this timeline is crazy. Foreign head of state pisses off the US enough. The US just yeets his ass back to the US. Come with us. We are picking you up. How many luggage did Maduro and his wife have? That might tell us if it was an attack or plan. That's the thing. We don't have the footage, unfortunately, from the moment that the Chinook helicopters picked him up. Trump's once a page in the Guinness World of Record, or a King Crown. He's sick. He suffers from power-hungry disease. Watch out, Greenland. Love and support from Denmark. Of course, Denmark. Of course, Denmark. Leave Greenland alone. Is stealing elections against internal law? Well, slightly, yeah, just a little bit. Venezuela equals Hezbollah, ISIS, Iran, Russia, China. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. So all the IRGC Hezbollah militias now have to go into hiding in Venezuela. And also the supreme leader in Iran just officially lost his final safe haven. Venezuela was supposed to be the exit plan for Ali Khamenei into Iran. That's gone now. What happens to all the warships that Iran sent to our country for joint naval exercises in a country with no navy? I know. Are they going to just stay and invade South Africa now? Well, I think the reality is that the Iranian regime will have to bring everybody back because they're all going to fall apart. So if the Islamic Republic officially falls in the next few days or weeks or whatever, then everything will be remobilized. All the troops, all the bases will go back because there's going to be a new doctrine, essentially, in a new constitution. The Mexican left-wing government has also condemned the US for picking up Maduro on the way back home, of course. Remember that laws only apply whenever it is an inconvenience to the one that does not like what you do, whatever their law may be. The UK change coming. Adam says, I'm sure a general collected the 50 mil. Someone ordered the anti-craft guns to stand down. Yes, I think somebody from Venezuela just got very, very rich. Don't you mean the war in Zanzibar in 1896? Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, it says 1896. It literally says the fastest war since 1896 in Zanzibar. What? You're just saying the same thing as me? I'm very confused. Alright, Sadiq Khan is next on Trump's list. Pick him up too. Why not? Colombia is mad. Russia mad. Venezuela military is mad. It's too late. You forgot Starmer and Nigel Farage. Well, Farage is not mad. He just says it's contrary to international law. Nigel is a grifter. He wants change in the safe countries like Afghanistan. Safe countries like Afghanistan. And hellholes, but won't do it in genuine cases of evil. Switch up from Canada. Britain is pissed because of the US, as reported by Promethean Update Channel. Latest video, British Lord admits plan. Is that plan? I'm confused about the spelling here. To sabotage Trump. If Colombia gets wrecked too, does that mean that we'll get decent gear on the cheap? No, it'll be the opposite. Oh yeah. Yeah, your supplies will become expensive now. Venezuela, the first stop on Trump's world tour. Now, someone says that Obama, Biden, Harris wouldn't have the balls to pull this off. Not because they'll be on the side of Maduro, obviously, like before. Why would they even try to get rid of their friends? So this is a wonderful news source. I've been watching it for 5 days now, and I have the TV on in the living room on an American station. Help! I'm in an overload. Turn it off. Turn off the mainstream media. That helps. Of course, Mexico is also run by cartels, and they are scared that they will be next. Yeah, but Mexico won't be next. Colombia should be more worried compared to Mexico. But I'm not really sure why Sanchez, that's in Spain, Gustavo Petro is making himself a bigger target. It's very, very unnecessary. There is also a new meme, ladies and gentlemen, of Marco Rubio. Oh God, do you want to see this? This is chaos. Do you remember last night? I showed you guys the new Iranian revolutionary song, right? This is the final battle. Pahlavi will return. Well, there's a new version, the meme, and it's as you could expect, Marco Rubio. That's so funny. Oh my God, Marco Rubio. Yes, well done. Well done, the US. Well done, everybody involved. The fight continues because Machado is still not back yet. Can the US similarly capture Starmer and liberate the UK? This seems to be the consensus in the live chat today, by the way. Everybody wants the US to capture the US to capture the UK. Let's see the latest updates. So the President Trump authorized the capture of Maduro several days ago. The operation was carried out by Army's Delta Force after the CIA tracked Maduro's location, resulting in his arrest. So based on what the Americans are telling us now, there was no deal, which would make this whole operation even more impressive. If that is the case, we have to wait for the confirmation from the president, because initially the opposition sources in Venezuela said there was a deal, right? Maduro knew he was going to be picked up. But based on what the Americans are now saying, they had to use CIA to track him down. That is absolutely insane. So they literally just went in and picked him up and bombed the defense minister's place. Whoa. Okay, that is interesting. So the chief foreign affairs columnist for the Financial Times has gone crazy. He says, so when China launches a special operation to seize the president of Taiwan, or Russia tries to do the same for Zelensky, what exactly do we say? You can't do that, it's illegal? Yeah, because the difference is they were democratically elected, and they were our allies. Maduro was not democratically elected, and he was the enemy of the West. You see the difference? Do you see the issue with that? I mean, the insanity, oh my God, they're liberal globalist weirdos. Anyway, we'll find out more. In about an hour, there is going to be a major protest outside the Iranian embassy in central London, and Tousi TV will be there for the live coverage as the Iranians continue their uprising against the Islamic occupation. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.